bear with me because it's going on 10 o'clock at night. Okay, so I wanted to make this video because I get questions all the time about my Whole30 journey, and really at this point just about the entire weight loss journey that I've been on since January. For those of you who did not see my previous video that I made when I was on day 20, I believe, of Whole30. Since I've made that video, I have actually done 3 consecutive rounds of Whole30. So instead of a Whole30, I kind of did a whole 90, I guess you could say. But I did 80 days of Whole30 compliant eating and 10 days of reintroduction. And really it might be like 82 or 83 days, not necessarily 80, because I didn't do the reintroduction period like I should have. So technically I did 3 rounds of the Whole30 program back to back. So I wanted to make sure that I got a video up about my Whole30 experience and about my weight loss journey as a whole up until this point. I get tons and tons of questions every single day about Whole30, about losing weight, about weight loss. So I wanted to address some of the questions that I get and really make it public. That way, if you guys are thinking about starting a weight loss journey, if you guys are thinking about doing the Whole30 program as well, you can feel free to use this video as a reference. Just as a disclaimer, these are my experiences. I can't necessarily say that everyone will have the same experience that I did. So just keep that in mind as you're planning and as you're thinking about your weight loss journey. And really what inspired me to do this video is that one of my favorite YouTubers that I follow is Amy Macedo. And I hope that I'm saying her last name right, because I've never heard her say her last name now that I think about it. But she frequently makes weight loss Q&A videos addressing questions that she gets from subscribers. So I wanted to kind of do the same thing, but not that I specifically asked for questions for this video. I'm really just compiling the questions and the comments and whatnot that I get over time. I have nothing written down, so I don't know if this is about to be a hot mess. I don't know if we're about to be all over the place, but hopefully by the time I'm done recording and by the time this video is edited, I will be able to make some sense out of my Whole30 journey. So if you want to hear my experience on my 3 consecutive Whole30 rounds and how I lost 20 pounds since January, just be sure to keep on watching. Before you leave, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this was informational for you, or if you're thinking about starting your own journey as well. And let me know down in the comments section some things that work for you, some things that don't work for you, things that you've learned along the way if you've ever tried to lose weight. But other than that, we will get started. Just as a refresher, if you did not see my last Whole30 video where I talked about my experience up until day 20, I'll be sure to link that down in the description box. But now I have successfully completed 3 rounds of Whole30. So if you're not sure what Whole30 is, it is a 30-day program or more if you choose, which I chose to do it for 90 days. But it's a 30-day program where you cut out dairy, preservatives, legumes, and added sugar. And at the end of those 30 days, you give yourself a 10-day reintroduction period. And the purpose of the reintroduction period is to see how your body reacts to certain things, so you know what to limit or what is safe for you moving forward. I did about 82 or 83 days of 100% compliant eating, no cheats whatsoever. And on the 83rd day is when I started to slowly reintroduce some things. So from the last video that I did when I was on day 20 up until day 83, some of the benefits that I have reaped were weight loss. I lost in 3 months, I lost 20 pounds, and I'll insert a picture or two here. And I've reaped some benefits like better sleep, better mood, better breath, clearer skin, more energy. I talk about a lot of those things in my day 1 to 20 video. So I'm not necessarily going to go into detail about them, but I more so want to address some of the details about what I did while I was going through Whole30 and what I did to lose the weight. Some people do lose weight just by eating clean and not working out. There are some people who do the program and they're like, I didn't set foot into a gym. I didn't do one single exercise the entire time. But I personally like to exercise, and I am working on building my body and really toning and really defining things. And of course, shrinking my stomach, who isn't trying to shrink their stomach? But for me, I worked out while I was on Whole30, and I worked out throughout all 3 rounds. Now, I feel like a lot of people think that I go to the gym every single day, and I do not by any means go to the gym every single day. I work out probably 3 to 4 times a week, 5 times a week on a very, very, very good week, but I literally have to be like high on life in order to work out 5 times a week. So at a bare minimum, I will do 3 days, average is 4. And one thing that I have found to be helpful in my weight loss, and one thing that I would suggest that other people do, is to switch up your workouts throughout the week. Now, another disclaimer that I should probably give is that I am by no means a nutritionist. I am by no means a personal trainer. So again, these are just things that have worked for me. But switching up my workouts throughout the week and not doing the same workout every single day helps, because what your body does is it likes to get used to things. Like, your body is made to be comfortable. So things that you do that are routine, your body likes that. When you switch up the routine, that's when your body changes. So 2 days a week, I do a boot camp class, which is basically a full body workout where you're just using body weight. It's a lot of cardio and a lot of body weight. And within the 45 minutes to an hour that I do it, I usually burn about 450 to 500 calories. So I have boot camp 2 days a week. The 3rd and 4th day that I work out are most likely at the gym. Sometimes I will do an in-home workout if I don't feel like going out of the house, but that's rare. I find it hard to work out inside my home, because my home, that's where I go for comfort. That's where I go to rest and relax. So to be out of breath in my own house is just weird to me. Like, that's a concept that I just can never wrap my head around. I take a lot of breaks when I work out at home. Like, it's just not a good time. So 2 days a week at boot camp. The other 2 days, I will spend at the gym concentrating. And another thing that I've found that works for me is doing cardio and concentrated weightlifting. Before I knew a lot about going to the gym, I would like run for a half an hour and then do like 15 to 20 minutes of light weights. And I was wondering why I wasn't seeing any definition or seeing any results. That is because your body, as much as your body needs cardio to increase that calorie deficit, your body also needs you to build muscle so you can burn some of that fat that's on your body. So what I would do is, and really I did this towards the tail end, what I would do is do a 10 or 15 minute cardio warm up, and then do 3 workouts where I either do a drop set or a superset. So 3 concentrated workouts. So I'll do the cardio warm up, then I may do 3 different tricep workouts. I'll either do a drop set or a superset, and a drop set is where you increase the weight as you decrease the rep, and a superset is where you don't necessarily worry about heavy weight, but you do high rep. And I will switch between doing superset and drop set just so my body can not get used to any specific workout. So I will do a 10 minute cardio warm up, and then, for example, 3 different tricep workouts. Then after those 3 tricep workouts, then I'll do 5 minutes of high intensity interval cardio, whether it be on the Stairmaster or whether it be on the treadmill. And after that 5-minute cardio piece, then I'll do 3 different lat exercises, and then I'll do 5 minutes cardio again, and then I'll finish up with like 3 core exercises, and then finish the entire workout with 5 minutes of cardio. So switching between boot camp, where it's a lot of running and a lot of body weight, to going to the gym and doing cardio in between my sets, and switching between supersets and drop sets, it really doesn't give my body the chance to get used to any specific workout. So I have found that to be very, 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 very helpful in toning and losing weight and building muscle. And I have never built this much muscle this fast. Now, I don't have any specific pictures of my muscle definition, which I probably should have, but I've been focusing so much on, all right, this is what I look like in terms of weight loss, and not necessarily this is what I look like in terms of definition. But I think that's what I will do moving forward, is start photographing and documenting the actual definition, because as much as the weight loss and, you know, shrinking the body fat and shrinking your stomach and just getting rid of some of that unwanted fat on your body, as much as that is important, defining muscle is important too. And one thing I think people need to realize is that there is a difference between losing weight and building your body. I think the health journey is more enjoyable when you're not a slave to the scale. Now, I will be the first to admit that I hop on the scale once, sometimes twice a week, which is not good at all. And I'm trying to break the habit, and I'm slowly breaking the habit as I'm seeing myself shrinking and defining. But really, I say this more as a don't do what I did kind of thing. Do not be a slave to the scale, because the only thing the scale is going to tell you is a number. Your scale's not going to tell you when your jeans are starting to get bigger. Your scale's not going to tell you when your biceps are starting to get more defined. Your scale's not going to tell you when your glutes are growing. Like, the number on the scale is constantly changing, and having a goal weight is good. But one thing that I have learned too is that, so my goal weight is 150 pounds. I'm 156 pounds right now. I never in my life thought that I would ever get to 156 pounds. And I thought that when I was 156 pounds, that I would be a stick figure. Like, I would be like thin, trim, fit, like here for the strappy, sexy bikini, and I'm not there yet. So I'm slowly learning to get the number out of my mind, because 156 pounds on me will look completely different from 156 pounds on someone else. So there is someone that is out in the world that is 156 pounds who has a six pack, who can wear the bikini to the beach. Like, when I tell you I can't do that right now, like, I cannot do that right now. So I'm slowly getting away from the scale and getting more into the mirror. But you can also become a slave to that too, because every time I eat, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I get fat yet? Did I get fat? Am I fat yet? Am I fat today? Am I fat? And I need to keep in my mind that you don't get fat overnight. So that is one thing that I'm keeping in the back of my head, but it feels good to slowly ease away from the scale and really into what it is that I look like and what it is that I feel like. And that leads me into another question that I get a lot, which is, did I have any cheats on the Whole30, and will I ever eat a cheat again? And another question that I get on top of it is, how do you just not cheat? And I think this goes for anything in life, but when you want something bad enough, like bad enough, I'm not talking like, oh man, I really wish that I was like in shape, or I really wish that I was skinny, or I really wish that I could do this, or I really wish that I could do that. When you want something bad enough, you figure out a way to make it happen, and you do whatever it takes to get there. And I was just in the place in my life where I was willing to do anything to get healthy. Like, I was on an all-out assault to get healthy, to get my fitness together, to get my health together, to get my eating habits together. Like, I was 130% sold out. And I think until you are 130% sold out, even 99% sold out is not enough. If you're 130% sold out that this is what you want to do, you will not cheat. Cheats won't look appealing because you'll see your results and you'll know where you came from, and it just won't be worth it to go back at all. So between day 1 and day 83, did I have any cheats? Absolutely not. I did not have dairy. I did not have beans. I did not have anything with added sugar in it. And I did not have anything that had preservatives in it. During my reintroduction period, did I have quote unquote cheats? Yes, they were Whole30 cheats, but I was also in reintroduction mode. Now that I am past that on like 100 days, however many days we are into 2018, that's how far I am into this journey. Have I had cheats? Yes. And I will talk about them a little bit. So the very first non-compliant thing that I had was honey in tea, because I had strep throat towards the end of my Whole30 program. I keep calling it a Whole30 program, but I feel like I should be calling it a Whole90. But anyway, so I had strep throat and I had to sing that Sunday, and honey and lemon is very good for your voice. So I was like, you know what? Whatever, I'm just going to do it. But I wasn't freaking out because honey is still a whole food. It's just not Whole30 compliant. So I had that, and then a few days later, I had oatmeal. And oatmeal is something that you can't have on the Whole30 program. And it took me a while before I ate anything that was like a true cheat, like intentional added sugar. So the first thing that I had with intentional added sugar was a fun size peanut butter cup. Now, mind you, I hadn't had anything with added sugar since 2017 up until that point, and this was maybe a couple weeks ago. So I had a fun size peanut butter cup, and it took probably 20 minutes for me to be coached into eating that peanut butter cup, because I felt like I fought and clawed my way to break this sugar addiction. So for me to eat something that had sugar in it, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. It's like being addicted to meth and you are clean for 90 days and then someone's like, I mean, just smoke a little bit. So I ate the fun size peanut butter cup, and what I thought it was going to be in my mind was not what it was when I put it in my mouth. So I remember peanut butter cups being like, oh my gosh, I could eat an entire bag of them. Like, give me all the peanut butter cups in the world. But when I ate it, I was like, oh, like, how was I so addicted to this before? Like, I just don't understand it. So I went on about my day. I didn't think any more about it. I didn't think that I needed more sugar, and that's what I was scared of. I was scared that scared that if I ate it, I was going to want 9 billion other things that had sugar in it. But I promise you that was not the case at all. I ate it and I moved on with the rest of my life. The next thing that I had probably a week later was half of a Sublime cupcake. Now, if you are watching this and you have a Sublime cupcake shop near you, you know what I mean when I say those gourmet cupcakes are rockin'. Like, I've never tasted anything that tastes so good as a Sublime cupcake. So, Sublime cupcakes were brought into the office. I was offered one. I turned it down at first. This was at probably 1 or 2 o'clock. Around 5 o'clock, I was sitting right in front of the cupcakes. And I was minding my business. I was doing my work. And then I was just like, all right, if I have one, I'm not necessarily going to get fat. I'm not going to gain all my weight back overnight. So I opened the box, looked at it, and I don't even like chocolate cake. This is the thing, and they were all chocolate. I don't even like chocolate cake like that. So I opened the box, looked at it, closed it again, went on about my business. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I was like, you know what? I would rather have half of a cupcake here while it's on my mind than for it to linger for days and then I just go and just like binge on all the cupcakes. So I ate half of a Sublime cupcake and I put the other half in a baggie. It felt like a brick going down my stomach. And also the mental guilt from eating the cupcake, I couldn't deal with that. So after a 12-hour workday, I went and had a full leg day workout. I did my supersets. I did my cardio. I just couldn't. I couldn't live with myself if I did not go to the gym. And I know that's not a healthy attitude to have towards food, but it's just what I needed to do. I needed to go to the gym after having that half a cupcake. So when I came back to the other half of the cupcake the next day, I poured water all over it and smashed it up. And then I threw it in somebody else's trash can just because I felt like it just wasn't worth it. When I tell you, I fought so hard to not be addicted to sugar that I don't want it in front of my face tempting me. So I poured water on it, smashed it up, and threw it away. So when I first started the reintroduction, there is a specific way that you're supposed to do it. I did not follow that specific way. I just had little bits of non-compliant things here and there. And when I first started reintroduction, everything that I ate that was non-compliant gave me a splitting migraine. When I tell you the migraine was on 120,000, there was nothing I could do to get rid of it. The strongest ibuprofen in the world would not get rid of this migraine. So that freaked me out when I first did the reintroduction, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to eat anything non-compliant ever again. So I could have a salad with just regular salad dressing, just a little bit of regular salad dressing. I could have that and get a migraine from it. So that scared me, but my body, I guess, got used to having little bits of non-compliant foods. So now I'm okay, but at first, when I tell you I got a headache, I got a headache. So let's talk about what I ate while I was on Whole30. So for breakfast, I would have a lot of Applegate bacon, because there is an Applegate bacon that is compliant. I would have Applegate bacon, eggs, and russet potatoes, or I would have chia seed pudding with compliant almond milk. For lunch, I ate a lot of chicken, a lot of turkey burgers, a lot of asparagus, green beans, and broccoli, and again, a lot of potatoes. But for lunch, I would switch it up and have a sweet potato instead of a russet potato. And then for dinner, I would just have whatever's left over from breakfast or lunch. In between meals, as a snack, I would either have a piece of fruit, or I would have a Larabar or an RX bar. I know they tell you not to snack on the Whole30, but I needs me a snack. So I snacked. I didn't graze, but I did snack. And switching from Whole30 meals up until the meals that I have now, I keep it generally the same. I've been super into spicy Italian sausage lately. I can't get enough of spicy Italian sausage, and I know that's going to raise my blood pressure sky high and I need to chill. But for breakfast, I've been having a lot of spicy Italian sausage, or I've been having oatmeal with fruit and honey in it. And for lunch, I will have the same exact things that I had while I was on the Whole30. So I'll still do chicken or turkey burgers, with a green veggie and a russet potato. And for dinner, I'll still do leftovers. For a snack, I will still do a piece of fruit or an RX bar or a Larabar. That hasn't changed. The only thing that I added that's really non-compliant is the oatmeal and the spicy Italian sausage, because it has sugar in it. Really, what Whole30 has taught me to do is look at labels. So I try to buy as organic as I can when it comes to meats, or when it comes to the sausage. So I try to buy sausage that has all organic ingredients rather than a ton of preservatives, because I really just don't want to go back down that road. But will I ever go to Chick-fil-A or Wendy's again? Maybe, but I've just become so accustomed to cooking my meals and to preparing them and packing my own lunches that I don't know any other way to be. I don't know how to shop super non-compliant. Like, I don't even remember how I grocery shopped before. I'm like, what was I even getting? Like, I wasn't cooking anything, so I don't understand what I was getting. So I shop and I eat very compliant still. Again, there are a few things, like I just made meatballs that have, and I use organic sauce, and the sauce has organic cane sugar in it. So there are small things that I've added that I'm okay with. And I do get paranoid because I'm like, oh my gosh, is this going to make me fat? Like, am I going to be 176 pounds again? Like, am I going to go back to where I was? Again, I'm not going ham, and I'm not having like cheesecake every single day and pizza and hoagies and like all sorts of crap. But I am being a little bit more forgiving on myself and eating some things that are still relatively whole, but just not like super processed, super fried, and things like that. Another question that I get is Whole30 living and working out, is it time consuming? And for me, again, because I wanted it, because I would have done anything, and I still will continue to do anything to fight for myself and fight for my own health, I was willing to put the time in. There are a lot of things that had to go by the wayside. So like dating kind of has to go by the wayside because it's hard to go out to eat when you are on Whole30. So of course, plugging in meal prep time and plugging in workout time, it doesn't leave time for a lot of things. So is it time consuming? Sure. But it was time that I was willing to have consumed from my life in order to make my lifestyle that much healthier and that much more enjoyable and that much better. So it was something that I was willing to do. You just have to make it work if you want it bad enough. That's what I'll say about that. Another comment that I get a lot is, oh my gosh, Whole30 is so restrictive. I would never be able to do it. And that was my initial reaction when Whole30 was introduced to me. But what I literally told myself, and I don't know, it just worked for me. Again, it could be just because I wanted it bad enough, but a lot of people say, oh my gosh, it's so restrictive, I can't do it. But I said, and this was when I just thought I was going to do a Whole30, and I didn't even know if I would make it 30 days. But it's just 30 days. Like, it's not the rest of your life. B, it's just food. Like, no one's saying, oh my gosh, you can't use your legs for 30 days, or you can't breathe for 30 days, or you can't talk for 30 days, or like you have to like cut off your phone for 30 days. Like, no one's saying that you have to do the things that are probably really hard to do in 30 days. Like, when I tell you I ate a lot, and I still eat a lot, like I eat every few hours. I wake up ready for the cabinet. I go to bed right before I'm in bed. I can't go to bed on an empty stomach. Like, I need to go to bed on a full stomach. So I eat, and I eat a lot. And you just have to find what works for you, whether you're doing Whole30, whether you're doing paleo, whether you are just cleaning up your eating in general. You have to find exactly what's going to work for you. So you have to find meals that are going to be good for you and good to you. And there are a lot of meals that are not compliant that you can make compliant. Like, there are ways to make different things with Whole30 compliant ingredients. It's just about taking the time to research those recipes and actually cook the food. My food I thought was tasty. I kept it plain Jane, but it still tasted good to me. And I never went hungry. I was never unsatisfied. I never felt like, oh my gosh, I'm really missing out on X, Y, and Z. Now, I have been going ham on my chewing gum. That's another thing that I've reintroduced is chewing gum. And I'm not sorry about it. Like, I love my chewing gum. But it's just 30 days, and there are things out there that you can have that are enjoyable. They're enjoyable for your body, they're enjoyable for your taste buds, they're enjoyable to make. Like, there are recipes out there. What I will say, do not ask me for recipes, because when I tell you I can't cook, I cannot cook. My food is delicious to me because my cooking skills suck. So my standards are very, very, very low for myself. I would suggest going on Pinterest and looking up Whole30 recipes, but even if you decide to do Whole30, but even when you do that, you have to be careful, because some recipes will claim to be Whole30, and then there's like, I don't know, like cane sugar in it, and I'm just like, that's not Whole30, but okay, I get your vision, thanks. And by the time you get to day 15, you just get used to it. Like, by the time I was halfway through, I was like, oh, well, we might as well do a whole 60. And by the time I was on day 50, I was like, oh, well, I might as well do a whole 90. But by the time I got to day 70, I was ready to be done with it, just because I was getting tired. I was tired of having to like look at labels all the time. I wanted to try new things. I wanted to switch it up a little bit. So my advice, if you want to start Whole30, is to just take the first 30 days to see how you feel. If you want to do a whole 60, great. Am I ever going to do more than a whole 60 again? Absolutely not. But I'm not sorry that I did it either, because it has so many health benefits. People also ask, what is my number one advice to someone that is trying to start any kind of health journey, whether it's Whole30, whether it's just working out more, whether it's cleaning up your eating a little bit. And my biggest advice is to rip it off like a Band-Aid and do it. I don't know what it is about us as people, is that we make change so much harder than it needs to be. Like, really, you just do it. There's no science to it. You don't have to over prepare. Like, you don't have to do all the extra stuff that you think you have to do. Like, go grocery shopping, cook your food, and do it. It really is that simple. And if working out is something that you want to incorporate into your lifestyle, again, just do it. A lot of people are like, oh, well, start off with one day, or start off really small. And I get it. I'm a firm believer in bite-sized goals so that we don't get overwhelmed and discouraged. But I don't know, when it comes to eating right and working out, just do it. You literally just have to do it. I'm not going to say like start off doing it 1 day a week or start off doing it 2 days a week. No, because it's so easy. Like, okay, if you give yourself a good 1 day a week or 2 days a week, what about the other 6 or the other 5? Like, what are you going to do then? How are you going to keep yourself accountable on all of those other days? Now, I'm not saying that every single day of your life for the rest of your life has to be so regimented that it's not enjoyable, but as long as you want it bad enough, you'll find a way to make it happen. And if you want it bad enough, you don't need to ask how. You don't need to ask, can I do it, or how am I going to do it? When you want it bad enough, you literally just do it. And my other piece of advice would be to, if you can, to get an accountability partner, or do it with someone that's really going to hold you to what you said that you were going to do, and someone that's really going to look up to you so you can't slip. And I did that. Abby was my accountability partner. Oh my goodness, when I tell you I would have fell flat on my face if she didn't do it with me. I would literally be sitting in front of a piece of cake right now. Like, oh no, not even a piece of cake. I would be sitting in front of a whole cake right now if she did not do Whole30 with me. And it's just nice to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. It's nice to have somebody to vent to if you need to. It's nice to have somebody say like, yo, I see you killing it, keep going. Because yes, are there some things in life where we have to just find motivation from ourselves? Sure. But it sure doesn't hurt to have somebody else tell you good job. It doesn't hurt to have somebody else tell you, listen, I see what you're doing and it's working and I want you to keep going because I'm counting on you. Like, I'm sorry, I needs that, and I needs all of that. So I would also say, if you can find an accountability partner, get an accountability partner, because ain't nobody got time to be lost in the sauce out somewhere by themselves, struggling, trying to find a way. Oh, I get the question of, will I do Whole30 again? And yes, I am doing another Whole30 starting May 1st, and I am so excited for it because I feel like a month is just enough time. A month off is just enough time for me to kind of like go out into the world and explore other things to eat. It's kind of like the, what's it called when Amish kids get to like go out and see if they want to be part of the world or if they want to be part of the Amish community. I feel like it's called like Rumspring or something. I don't know if I'm saying it right, and I apologize if I sound ignorant, but I feel like that's what April is for me. Like, it's my chance to go out into the world and see what other foods I want. And I feel like I'm like sticking my toe in the water a little bit and seeing it, whether the water is hot or cold. But so far so good. Like I said, I haven't gone ham, but I am looking forward to another Whole30 in May. And between now and May 1st, I'm still working out 3 to 4 times a week. I'm still doing everything that I was doing before. And I've cleaned up my eating so much since 2017. So I'm still on track. I'm just not on Whole30 track again until May 1st. Was my strap out the whole time? So, like I said, I just wanted to get on camera and address some of the frequently asked questions and some of the frequently shared comments that I get about my Whole30 journey. I hope that this was helpful for you. If you're thinking about starting Whole30, or if you're thinking about changing your lifestyle, if you're thinking about working out, do it. Seriously, do it. Your body is a container that you use to carry you throughout the rest of your life. You owe it to yourself to develop a healthy lifestyle. You absolutely can do it. When I tell you I was the least likely candidate to ever be able to do something like this, like ever. If I can do it, a monkey could do it. Anyone with a pulse can do it. Like, literally, it is possible. And I know that's so cliche, but I promise you to death, I was the least likely person to be here. And I still have a ways to go. I'm still shaping my body. I'm still getting some things together. But getting from where I was up until this point is like, oh my gosh, I'm literally blowing my own mind every single day. So if you're thinking about starting something or making any kind of change, literally, you can do it. I swear on my life, you can do it. So if this video was helpful for you, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments some things that you guys are doing to change your lifestyle, if you're interested in changing your lifestyle. And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave.